Yo, what is up, guys? This is the Brick Dough here, and we have the new LEGO Ideas review list. So there's going to be 39 projects coming up for review here. If you guys know, this is how we do it. We're going to be going over each one and giving it either a likely tag, a plausible tag, or a no way tag. And historically, I've been pretty off with those, but it's still fun to do, and definitely these lists definitely always make for a super interesting discussion. I like hearing people's thoughts on this, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with it here. Here we have number one, we have the Forestman Secret Inn. So I guess off the bat here, I think there's quite a few castle/medieval times style sets, and my overall opinion on them are we have the Lego Medieval Blacksmith out right now, and so that's been a recent ideas one, and then we also had Castle in the Forest, which was a Bricklink Designer Program set, but that became a Bricklink Designer Program set because it didn't get past review in LEGO Ideas back, I want to say, 2020. So I think there's clearly demand for this, and there's always a lot of sets in that category that get selected, I feel like, or reach 10,000 supporters and get up for review, but definitely tough to say that any of these are going to be in a likely category. I think all plausible is a decent place to put them. So I'll go ahead and put that in there as well in that plausible category. Maybe they'll choose one of those castle or medieval style ones, but it is hard to say since we've seen some get accepted, some get denied, and I think across the board that they might go for something kind of different, than what we've gotten before, which would make me think that maybe they won't select it. But I'll put that as plausible. Number two, we have the legendary Concorde. This was a supersonic jet a while back. I'm gonna say this is too big of a niche sort of style set. Like I'm sure people who are into planes and things like that would love a display piece like this, similar to like the 747 Dreamliner, something like that. Looks like is kind of what the style they're going for. But I do think that this maybe doesn't have the broad enough appeal to do well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in not likely. Number three, we have Mini City Diorama. This is definitely a good-looking mock, and this is sort of where we have to distinguish between, this is a great-looking mock versus the, probability and likelihood of Lego producing something like this. And I think, although it's a really good-looking mock, I'm going to have to put it in the plausible category only, just based on the fact that I do think that there's a lot of pieces in this. It would be decently expensive, and the sort of the style of it is a little bit artistic, and I don't know. It just doesn't. I'm not sure if it's. This is a underground station, so I'm not sure exactly if this would have a broad enough appeal. And again, it's a nice display piece, and it's unique, and it's a good mock. Not sure if it's the best set, I guess is what I'm saying there. Number four, we have the Lego toilet, the UCS toilet. Now, this is actually really funny. I think that I got to 10,000 supporters, but I'm going to have to put this in the not likely category. Even though this would be just a great meme if Lego went ahead and went with this, I think it's definitely unlikely, but nice mock, and I just love the fact that this got to 10,000 supporters and that it's in this review. Number five, we have the Lego Koala. I think this is actually a really good-looking mock. I think the feasibility a little bit in having the sort of build integrity when doing some of these animals, I think would be a little bit tough as far as that getting past Lego. And just the overall build techniques used in this, I think would be a bit advanced, but I think this is definitely a plausible one, definitely unique, and I think price-wise this wouldn't be anything crazy. It would be definitely a reasonable, nice little set to get. Number six, we have the Wild West Mine. We did see a similar sort of old West railroad kind of style set that didn't get passed, and it just looks very similar to that. So for that reason, I'm going to put this in not likely, but again, a really good looking mock and something this is something that personally that I would like to see. But again, when you talk about sort of the realistic factor, I think this is not likely. Number seven is the library. This is basically a modular building, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in not likely. And then number eight, we have the steampunk airship. And I could be wrong, but I feel like we've had some of these steampunk sets in review before. But this would just be a giant build. I'm not sure exactly how many pieces are in this mock, but I think it would be very large. And I'm not sure if a set that size would have a big enough audience to purchase it. So I'll put that in not likely, but a very interesting design and unique for sure. Number 9, Tales of the Space Age. And these are very, yeah, I don't know, I guess just very artistic, and would make for a decent display piece, and it would be definitely easy to make. But I think this is more of a nice little mock rather than a full set. And Lego's got their own thing going a little bit with the whole Lego art, even though this is much different than that. I think that this is probably not likely. Number 10, the Kit Kat clock. Now, this is just another kind of funny one in my opinion. I put this in not likely, just based on the not enough broad appeal for this to do well, but definitely a neat little mock, and I'm sure that's something that some people want, but again, probably not big enough broad appeal. Number 11, we have Santa's Cottage. Kind of a similar situation where this is a nice mock, but just even looking at a lot of the greebling, there's just so much, brick greebling and things like that for this to be a set, I think there would have to be substantial modifications to this, and for that reason, I'll put this in the not likely category, although, again, I think it's a good mock. Number 12, we have Mock Patrol. I'm not too familiar with this, to be honest, or what this is about. I think it's a decent little set there, but I can't really speak on it too much. Just put that in the plausible. Number 13, we have the Polar Express 20th anniversary. Crazy to think that that's on the horizon there, but there's a few trains in this as well I should mention. And my overall thoughts about the trains too is that there's definitely a lot of demand for Lego trains in general. We will be getting that new cargo train this year, and also a new passenger train. So that makes me think that it would be a little bit less likely for one of these to be picked. But then again, we are at a stage where it's taking 2 years from the review stage to actual product release. So maybe by that point there'd be a place for one of these, and if they could time out release of a train like this, around the holiday time, I do think trains in general would just do very well. It's another one of those kind of like castle medieval time things. Like, there's always consistently some in these review stages. I always feel like that those are in general just broadly popular, but we haven't really seen train wise, we haven't seen that select any of those selected yet. So it's hard for me to say probable, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a plausible. Number 14, we have Lego Insects. Definitely a unique mock. I guess my thoughts on this are possible, like the feasibility for Lego to produce something like this in a set is like 10 out of 10. Like, it would be just an easy go ahead. And for that reason, I would actually probably put this in the probable category. And I think also that they haven't really done anything like this before. Obviously, we have sort of the plant series, which I think is doing very well. So this may seem like a really kind of obscure, like just, a bunch of insects in it. But we saw like Lego birds come out with multiple sets. Those must have been doing pretty good. And again, I think I like the Lego plants, where it's like, it might not interest you exactly, but seemingly those sell pretty well. And I feel like this would kind of be in the same category as that. And then just as far as, like feasibility in producing this, doesn't look like, any special pieces, no special minifigures. It would be kind of a, fastball for them to kind of go ahead and make this happen. So I'll put this one in the probable category. Number 15, we have the Boeing 747 cockpit. My thought on this is that it's just too specific. It's, again, a fantastic mock, but I don't think that this would have the broad enough appeal. But really, just the perspective of it and everything, just a really unique style, and for that, definitely got to give credits to the designer, but I'm not sure if it's feasible as a actual Lego set. 16, we have Sherlock Holmes. My opinion on this is I think it's something Sherlock Holmes wise would do pretty well. This to me looks too similar to like a modular, and I guess this would definitely be on the more expensive end of a set. So it's like, I guess you'd have to decide too a little bit, like, are you going for like the Sherlock Holmes kind of like classic book style? Or are you going for like Sherlock Holmes, like pairing it up with like the newer movies that have been out? I don't know. I think there's just a lot of things that kind of line up there as far as that whole IP thing as well, and how that works. But it is a neat design, a neat mock. I think something like that could do well. I'm just not sure this specific one is that desired or whatnot. So I put that in not likely. Number 17, we have Adventure Box. So this sort of folds out where, there's a bunch of different compartments in there for games and things like that. A neat contraption, but just doesn't really seem feasible, or like it could be a very popular set, to be honest. So neat design and everything like that, but I'm going to put that in the not likely category. And then we have this, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but this suspension railway. So again, another train. This one would be huge, just based on the mock here if they were doing a carbon copy of that. But I kind of just, copy and pasted what I said about the other train that there is that clearly there's a demand for trains, as there has been. Just not sure, which is most likely. And if they're looking to include trains in this next review, given that we're getting 2 new train sets just this year. Number 19, we have hanging flowers. This would be very feasible for Lego to make something like this, but we do have now like this Lego Botanica line and theme, I should say. So I'm going to put this in not likely, just because I feel like that would definitely just fall under that theming now. So neat idea, and maybe Lego do something similar to this in an actual set that they produce, but I don't think this will be a Lego Ideas one. Number 20, we have the Polaroid one step. Very interesting. I know Polaroid is a bit before my time, and I'm not exactly sure of like the popularity of something like this. I think it could be pretty decent, but I don't think it's like really up there, I guess, in comparison to some of these other ones. I'm gonna go ahead and say plausible, and you'll notice too, I'm not giving a lot of these the probable tag. Only one so far being the insects, and that's because historically, even though these reviews have had 30-something submissions, 40-something submissions, we usually only get like one. So trying to be a little bit more conservative with giving out some of these rankings. 21, we have the Opera. This is basically a modular. For that reason, I will put it in not likely. 22, we have a rally car. Again, very niche, I would say. Clientele will be looking to buy something like this. I think it's cool, but I think just general broad appeal just would not be there for something like this. And I think it would be decently expensive too. And we already get the brick built creator cars, also Technic cars. So I feel like that maybe that this isn't that if this was really that desire, they would have already produced something like a rally car style from one of those sub themes. So I'll put that in not likely. 23, we have Castle of Brickwood Forest. So even the name of this very similar to Castle in the Forest that we saw. And again, I'll just sort of insert the comments I said about the others Castle medieval sets, and that definitely very popular. Hard to say that one of these will get picked, given we've seen one recently get approved, and it's just hard to say. We had the Castle in the Forest as a Bricklink Designer Program set because it did not get selected in a review. So sets that are very similar to that, despite them again seemingly being popular, given that they get 10,000 supporters, like every review there's multiple sets looking like similar to that. I think it's going to be plausible, but definitely not probable. 24, we have Gilmore Girls House. I feel like this would be an expensive set, and I just don't think it has the popularity, to kind of make that happen. So I want to go ahead and put not likely for that. 25, we have Aladdin, a 30th anniversary set. I think the design of this is fantastic, and I think an Aladdin set could do very well. We know that Disney and Lego obviously work together, so I think maybe again that IP would be fairly, hopefully straightforward. And if this is a 30th anniversary thing, I just feel like this is something that Lego this wouldn't have come up with by themselves. I think they might kind of like that fact. A lot of things would still have to line up as far as getting the rights to make a set like this and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in the probable one. I think partly I'm putting that in there just for my own wants of this set. But I do think that it is definitely possible, and at least in comparison to other ones on this set, on this list here. And I think piece count, it'd definitely be pretty high, but it wouldn't be anything astronomical. And who knows, maybe they could cut it down just slightly. But it is just a super unique set mock here, and I think it would actually make for a good display piece as well. 26, we have the Market Village, so reminiscent of medieval market from way back then there. But yeah, same thoughts there on all the medieval stuff and castle stuff. I'm going to go ahead and say plausible there. And then 27, we have the Air Jordan 1s. I'll say plausible. They did the Adidas shoe. It's tough to tell how well that did. I still feel like I just don't see a lot of them selling that much on store shelves. But at the same time, I can't think of, that was kind of, for me, a surprising shoe that they chose to do with it, the Adidas Superstar. something like the Air Jordan 1, I feel like you definitely would get like all the sneakerheads into it, people that are just into, kind of 90s era pop culture, things like that. I feel like it could do very well. There obviously still need to be a lot of things that would line up as far as getting the rights to produce something like that and all that comes with that. But I think it would do very well. I'm just not sure, after the release of the Superstar and maybe how that did, that they'll go with something like this. So I'll go ahead and give this plausible, but not anything more than that. 28, we have Magical Village Over the Bridge. I feel like this is a great mock, and there's just a lot of pieces kind of in like the base structure of this bridge and everything underneath here. It almost looks like too detailed, if that makes sense, to be like a feasible set to make at a reasonable price point without major modifications. So for that reason, I'll give it not likely, but this is a great mock, and would be definitely something really cool to have on your shelf. If you're able to build something like this, but I'm not sure if it'll be like a good wide released set. 29, we have the Legend of the Sea Serpent. I'm going to go ahead and say kind of the same thing there. It's just a lot of greebling, a lot of details. It looks like a great mock, but again, just not sure of the ability for that to convert to a popular set, given the price point something like this would have to be at. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put not likely. 30, we have the Orient Express. Another train situation. Trains seem to be very popular. I think this style of train, similar to the Polar Express train, I feel like people are just craving for that, right? Like we had the Emerald Knight, I would say the most popular Lego train of all time. And I feel like people are kind of craving for that style of locomotive again. And I feel like they got to do it sometime. And I don't know if it's going to be Lego Ideas. I don't know if it'll be them doing their own thing or what, but these are both decent options for that, but it's just tough to say. So I'll put it implausible, but definitely would be cool to see that happen. 32, we have the Notting Hill Market. I hope I got that right. And then I feel like these are kind of like the mini modular vibes. Like it just seems too similar to that, or it seems too similar to those smaller creator sets we've been getting that are kind of like quote unquote like mini modulars. That have been just in the creator line. Kind of it gives me those vibes as well, but I think probably too similar to modular to really to give them the go ahead on that. Another locomotive here again. See, it's I feel like that style. I'm sure these are all probably different styles. I'm sure that train people definitely know more than I do on this, but I feel like people are just really itching for that, and I feel like it's going to have to happen soon. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'll go ahead and give it plausible. For the same reasons as the others. 33, we have Farm Life. Seeing that we get all these Lego City farm sets this summer, I'll put this in the not likely, even though this is much more detailed and everything. I think it looks actually really, really great. Just the fact that we're getting that for Lego City this summer, I would not think that they would choose that, but who knows? But that's going to be put in my not likely category. 34, we have Satisfactory Constructor. I'm not even really sure exactly what the deal is with this. Definitely an interesting looking contraption kind of set here, but I don't know much more on this to really speak on it. I'll put it in plausible, but again, I can't really speak on it that much. I don't know too much about that. 35, we have Living on the Edge. And similar to what I've said about others, like very detailed, tons of greebling. If you look on the bottom here too, how it kind of like wraps over. And I think that's kind of the Living on the Edge deal with that. Just a ton of greebling detail, and for that, it's a great mock. But realistically, producing this in a set and the price point it would have to be at without major modifications, I would say I'd put this in the not likely category. 36, we have Lego Minerals. This is another interesting one where I feel like in a sense it's similar to like the Lego Insects, probably just a bit less popular and a bit definitely less recognizable besides kind of these geode rocks and things like that. I just feel like it'll be easy for them to implement, make into a set. No minifigures, no special pieces or anything. But if I were to choose between Lego Minerals or the Lego Insects, I think I would definitely choose the Insects. And I think the designers from that same standpoint, I think they would just have more appeal and more recognizability versus some of these rocks here where I'm not even exactly sure what they are besides, the main ones around here. So it would just be, I I would say kind of second to Lego Insects, and for that reason I put in plausible. 37, we have Chippendale Rescue Rangers, this time an actual set with minifigures. So we saw the Chippendale Rescue Rangers brickheads, and so we know that they can have the license for that then, and we've seen them use the molds for Chippendale from Disney minifigure series. So I feel like all those reasons would be good reasons to go ahead and give a go-ahead on this set. I think that giving the go-ahead on this would definitely be dependent on how well, say the Chippendale Rescue Ranger brickheads have done so far. And that's just hard to say. I feel like brickheads in general aren't like the popularity of certain themed brickheads aren't indicative of like how the sets do. But again, there's nothing else to really benchmark this set to, or the possible popularity of this set too. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in probable, just because of a lot of those reasons as I explained. Them seemingly already having the IP for it, them already having the molded heads for Chippendale. A lot of those big hurdles are kind of already they're already kind of over those, and a set like this in size is a little bit smaller, so it'd be a bit more feasible price point wise for more people. A lot of things going for it in general. I'm just not sure if that popularity is there, but I'm still going to give it that probable tag. So far, only two probable ones I have are the Chippendale Rescue Rangers and Lego Insects, and we're coming up towards the end here. So 38, we have the Antique Cash Register, a really great looking mock, and I think something like this could do decently well. I just feel like the amount of pieces in here, I'm not sure exactly. They would push this set to like $300 or so, and at that point, you really got to start thinking like how will this sell? And there have been sets that have surprised me, like the Lego piano, something like that, where it's like, it's cool, but I don't know how many people think it's that cool to spend that kind of money on it. I feel like that's kind of in the same category. But then again, the Lego piano got selected. But for this, I would say plausible. I'm not going to go ahead and put it in the probable category for the reasons mentioned about price point, things like that. 39, we have Jules Verne's Nautilus. I don't know a ton about this, but this is a really interesting looking submarine situation here. And man, it would be a nice display piece just looking at it. But I'm not sure if I can give this the probable tag. I feel like there's just quite a lot going on in this set. I personally don't know too much about like the background of this set. And at the price point that this would have to be at, I think it would have to be a pretty popular sort of broad reach set, and I'm not sure if it has that. I might just not know enough about it, to be honest, but from my perspective, I would say I'll put it in the plausible category. But it is a great looking a mock for sure. So that wraps up all 39 sets. Only 2 from me got the I should say the probable stamps, the Chippendale Rescue Rangers and the Lego Insects. It was going to be super interesting to see how this plays out. I feel like they got it. I keep on going back and forth as far as like, should they change the Lego Ideas process to limit the amount of ones that go into review? Because we get like 30, 40 in here. It's just tough to narrow them down. And some of them get past that really, in my opinion, don't have any real chance for multiple reasons. But it is fun to go through them, and it is fun to discuss about reasons why or why not certain sets might do well or would be likely for Lego to make. It is a fun way to try and think like a Lego producer, or just working for them and trying to make those decisions. All right, guys, so that sort of wraps up this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on all these projects, and if you think any of them are going to be greenlit. It'll be interesting to see how many out of 39 get selected. My guess is 1, just based on historical numbers. It seems like we're getting 1 here most of the time. So let me know your guys' thoughts. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, this is the Brick Joe, signing off.